Welcome to Connections Count, where we talk about everything from life, work, and anything in between. My name is Melody Beach. I think you all know me, and I have a wonderful guest today that I think all of you will really resonate with. His name is Dennis McCurdy from McCurdy Financial and Insurance from Sturbridge. Welcome, Dennis.
Hey, Melody. Thanks for having me on the show.
I am so glad that you came down here to be with me and talk to me about you and your company and what you've been doing, not only at the company within that world, which is huge, right, but also within the community and other things, because I know you're well known and I know you do a lot. And I think people would really like that. But I also know you're an author.
Yes.
And you just released, I think, your third book?
Third book, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Suck It Up Cupcake.
Suck It Up Cupcake.
Stop
I love the
screwing
title.
yourself and get the life you want.
I love the title.
And I'm almost on the fourth.
Oh, you just don't stop, do you?
No.
Well, you know, that's good, because once we stop and become stagnant, sometimes we solidify for, and then it's over.
We rust.
That's right. So that's great. So let's talk about that. So let my audience, and again, you'll have your audience, know about you. What's going on?
What's going on? Well,
anything in insurance that people need to know about?
Nobody wants to talk about insurance. Although, I will tell people, if you have oil tanks, to make sure that you get them inspected and taken care of. We had a spill at my mother's old house last Thursday. And then when you start getting the Department of environmental people in there and the conservation people in there and the engineers, it's just not something you want to have happen.
No, it wreaks havoc, I would think.
Absolutely. So better to spend the money, get a new tank.
What's the lifespan on a tank? I don't know.
I think 20, 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, and it depends on the condition, because we had an old 1850s house, so it's a wet cellar,
rust,
dirt,
all that,
rust.
whatever. Yeah.
I'm actually getting a new Roth tank, which is one that I have in my other two buildings.
Yep.
It's aluminum with a special membrane, two double membranes inside, so it's safe.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted. But it's funny, because we were replacing that tank anyway. And when the guy went down to do it, that's when all of a sudden...
Whoops.
Yep.
All right.
So,
I have gas, so that's
You're
why
all
I
set.
wasn't sure anything. Well, I got an old boiler.
Yeah.
It's a nice boiler, but it's old and it's rusty and it's got rust, But anyway, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So I would agree. That's a great tip for people to know.
Yeah, prevention is always the best insurance. And we always say that to our customers. It's worth spending a little money to get things taken care of than have a bigger problem later on, which just causes all kinds of financial and emotional issues. I mean, it's a lot when you're starting to deal with this stuff.
Like a house inspector, you think would be one that would check it out, or
just your normal, your electrician, your plumber, your carpenter, your oil person, any of those people that are professional. Just have them, look at what you've got and make sure that it's still good.
All right, they hear it here, folks.
Right here, in
take a tip.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. A little, safe mind. Put your mind at ease so that you can sleep at night. Right. All right. So what else? What's going on with you personally?
Me personally, well, just about finished the next book. I'm just about ready to bring it over to Rita Schiano to do some editing.
Really?
And this one's called The Magic of Mastermind.
Okay. All right. What's the premise?
It's going to be a shorter book, because people like to read short books.
Yep. That's our attention span, right?
Yes, exactly.
These days.
So this one talks a lot about how powerful accountability is, how powerful being in a mastermind group. So a mastermind group for your audience would be 4, 5, 6 people who meet on a regular basis.
Okay.
And the goal is to set goals.
Okay.
To report back to the group what you're accomplishing.
Yeah.
To be held accountable for those things, which is really important, because a lot of people don't have that. And especially if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, you just don't have that accountability. You're the boss. Right. So I would encourage anyone to either get into a group, find an accountability partner, get a goal buddy.
Okay.
Coach, but it's just...
Well, the mindset group now, I was thinking coach and things like that as you were talking. So the with having a number of people in there, right? Tell me a little bit more about that. Is it that diverse background?
Right. With the mastermind group, you're going to get
Different opinions.
different opinions.
Yep.
People see different things.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I've been to Toastmasters for 20 years, and I see when we're evaluating a speech, everybody sees something different.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of having a group.
That's
That
true.
doesn't mean you still don't want to have a coach
Yeah, okay.
besides that, or a goal buddy besides that, but it's you need that accountability.
I agree with you about the accountability. I think that's great. Whatever path you choose,
Right.
or paths, because
Right.
again, they can work in tandem together.
Absolutely. And you
Right.
can build it into your own life.
Yep.
It's just up to you to do that, and I think people need to be encouraged to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you a quick example.
Absolutely.
For 2 years, I've been procrastinating on buying a van for my business. And I was going to put signs on it and drive it
Okay.
around town and use it for different things. It was good advertising. So I'd look at a van and I don't want to spend that much money, or I procrastinate and it'd be gone. Finally, about a month ago or so, I told Justin, my right-hand man, I said, okay, if I don't have a van within 10 days, I'm giving you $1,000.
You just want to throw money out the window?
No, I want to be serious.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay.
that would wake me up. So go ahead.
It's all about getting serious. And
Yeah.
so guess what? Within 3 days, I had a van.
Of course you
Yes.
did. You didn't want to have to pay that extra $1,000.
Exactly. So when I wrote the first book, Find a Way,
Yep.
I was working with a woman named Margot Chevers, who unfortunately has passed. We had our own 2-person mastermind group
Okay.
for 7 years.
Wow.
Other people would come and go, but nobody ever lasted more than a couple of weeks. And people just, it's all about, if you're serious, you do it. If you're not, you won't.
Right. It's true. It's a commitment, and if it's something you really want, like anything, it's not work if you really love what you do.
Right,
Right.
right.
So go ahead. Yeah.
And so Margot and I met every month for 7 years.
Yep.
We'd sit together, we'd set our goals, we'd look at what we accomplished the prior month. At the end of each meeting, we wrote a check post-dated 30 days for $500. And if you didn't do your goals, that person got to cash that check.
Okay.
So it builds in a little accountability.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it gets to the point where it's not about the check. I just couldn't tell Margot I didn't do it. You know, so you get those strong relationships, and that's really, really important.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we'll let ourselves down, I think, but we won't let the team down.
It's easier to let yourself down.
Absolutely.
Right? You're not holding yourself against. You can make an excuse for why you didn't do it. Right? You know, oh, I didn't have time, or I didn't have this, but you're right.
Right.
When you have to answer to somebody,
Right.
it's a totally different ball game.
Absolutely. Like my friend Charlie Cook always says, stop looking for excuses like there was a reward.
Oh, I like that.
it's
That's
just-
really, it's true.
Yeah.
It's so true, Dennis.
And usually just the excuses are just lies we tell ourselves. And make us feel better for the moment.
Well, I know, I can honestly say, you know, again, I know you professionally, but I know you also as a mentor to me from when I started my business several years ago. And you know, we meet, I take notes, I make sure I accomplish those tasks that I've assigned myself, and it makes me feel good so that when I meet with you again, I pull that out and I can say, done this, done that, done that.
Right.
And it makes me accountable. Even though we haven't formally set something up, it's still something that I work to,
Exactly.
and I love it. So I agree. I think everyone should
Everyone
think
should
about
have it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And meeting with you, I always enjoy because I know you're going to do it.
I try
And
to.
You do, and that's really a pleasure for me when I'm helping somebody. I've helped a lot of people, and I've offered to help a lot of people, and if as long as they're willing to work at it, that's what it's all about.
And building those community ties, I think, is really important. I learned that as well, right from the beginning when I first was thinking about waiting for that website to get loaded and finished, and, you know, getting my name out there and attending organizational events, seeing you. It really helped me just, you know, keep that word, keep me on track, keep me honest.
Right.
You know, and and I saw how much you were involved in the community and the things that you do, and I realized that if you're going to have a company and you're going to do work, you really need to be I don't necessarily say you need to take gratification for what you do, but you need to know what's going on in your community.
Right.
Be there to help them.
Right.
Be there for those ribbon cuttings. You know what I mean? So that you can
Encourage people.
encourage people, and also build those roots, those
Right.
foundations for future.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's crucial. Connections are crucial.
They are.
Absolutely.
I like that. I keep hitting the mic. I'm so sorry, guys.
I thought it was me. So.
No, I think it's me. That aside, what else besides the fourth book, which you're almost ready to go to editing, which blows my mind because the third one feels like you just finished it.
About a year ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow, a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. So actually, I'm thinking about another one already. I'm thinking about one called You Suck.
The titles are well, the titles are what really get you in.
Right.
Right? You want to know what this is all about. Suck it up, Cupcake. Come on.
Yep. Stop screwing yourself, get the life you want. And that's the whole point. People screw themselves all the time. With self-defeating behaviors, no accountability, all of those things. And again, because especially as a small business owner,
Yep.
or even a corporate executive, we don't have somebody there to say, hey, wait a second, Melody, what's going on here?
Right.
Or you've said this 3 times, what's the deal?
Gotcha.
You need that. I mean,
Yep.
just not to get political, but if you look at guys like that guy in China there that runs China, he has no one there to say, hey, wait a second, you're going down the wrong path here, because then he just shoots them.
Well, I was going to say he probably doesn't want to have
He doesn't
somebody
want
there.
it, but that's a dangerous way to
is.
go for
Yeah.
whether you're running a small business, in your relationships and anything. It's just a dangerous way to go.
Yeah, I would agree. What about the other things that you do, such as, you have something that you did in the past, you haven't done it recently, which I think is really interesting.
Oh, the firewalks?
The firewalks, yes. So tell me a little bit about that.
So back in, I think, 2004, before I just started writing the first book, I thought, well, who wants to listen to Dennis McCurdy, right? I mean, he sells insurance, right? So I decided to go to California, to Sonora, California.
Beautiful place.
Yes, and meet with Tolly Burkan.
Okay.
Tolly Burkan is basically the father of firewalking in the world, probably.
Wow.
He taught Tony Robbins. He's taught all the big names. So I said, if I'm going to go to California, and I'm going to learn from the best, and I'm going to do that. I want to say it took me 2 months to push that key on the keyboard to say, yes, I'm going. But we all do that. But I finally did go.
Yeah.
And I've conducted dozens of firewalks for people, and they really enjoy it. It gives them it's not about, it's like bungee jumping in a way, or parachuting in some way. It's accomplishing something that is different and scary. But the message with the firewalk is to pay attention and to realize that a lot of the things that we think are impossible are not.
Wow. Okay, it's challenging. Isn't
Challenging,
it? Yeah.
right? All we have to do is, what I tell them at the firework, all we have to do is you have to know how to do it or find out how to do it.
Well, it's conquering your fear.
Right, that's a big part of it too.
Right?
So-
I would be very fearful if I was thinking about stepping on something that was on fire.
Right. We do
Right.
glass walk too, so I should have brought some glass today. Next time I see you, we also have people put an arrow right here
Okay.
and pretend, if somebody holds up a board, to pretend they're leaning against a tree, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
lean into the arrow and snap the arrow.
Really?
And it is amazing the thought process of some people. I've had my friend Margot, who was my mastermind partner for
Yep.
7 years. She would never do the arrow. She did the firewalk, but her excuse was, well, I'm a speaker, I need my voice.
Oh.
But I'm explaining to you,
Yeah.
this is how it works, this is how you do it, and you've seen 5 other people do it right here. So a lot of times, even though the evidence for success is there, the footprints are there, we still let fear stop us, or some
Yeah.
belief that stops us.
Yes. It's like your mind just won't let it go.
Right.
So interesting. I'm just, can you see, I'm like mesmerized by it. I don't know. But I think that if you can see the evidence there, you see other people do it, and
evidence
you
is
can
right.
talk about it, then there may be, I haven't done it, but maybe there would be a way to do it.
Well, it's the
right?
same thing when you start
Yep.
a business, or ask somebody on a date or anything. It's like the evidence is there. You
Just
have
do
to
it.
overcome yourself,
Right.
and do it.
Right.
And that,
Well, that's true. I mean, that's sort of what I did when I started my business.
Right, exactly.
I just jumped in. Everyone was negative, and I said, I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to take a chance on myself.
you have to stay away from the naysayers.
That's true.
That's part of your environment. One of the
Yep.
things in the new book is talking,
Yep.
and Beth, all the books talks about who's in your environment, what your environment is like, because
Yep.
environment is people, places, and things, and all of those things matter.
You have to surround yourself with a good group of people.
Correct.
Not all yeahs
Right.
or nayas.
Nope.
It's got to be a great group that's going to be honest.
Right. Somebody will tell you the truth.
Exactly.
I think it was Jack Canfield said, you want somebody who will give you the loving kick in the ass.
You do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're not going to succeed.
Right, exactly.
So you might not like the answer, and that's okay.
Well, you might be afraid, but still okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So all those little adages like, Emerson, do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain, they're all true. But people just don't.
That's why I love meeting with you. I just get so pumped up and inspired every time I'm with you. It really wants me to go out there and do. And speaking about that, you inspired me again with the community to reach out. And when we were talking one day, I was thinking about all the people I know and people that you know and people I have met along the last 6 years. And it made me get over my fear and reach out and ask for help, which I very rarely do because I guess maybe in my own mind that's seen as a failure.
Or weakness.
A weakness.
Right.
I don't know. But I reached out, asked for help, and lo and behold, it came to fruition.
Sure.
And this week we had our new launch on something that we'll talk about a little later. But I'm just very excited. So, I mean, again, you've shared that you do need to overcome that fear.
Absolutely. How many people say they want to have a podcast or they want to have this
Right,
or that,
right.
and then they just never
do
it.
it.
Right. Because they come up with, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't look right, I'm this,
There's always
I'm that.
a reason.
Always a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome. I just love that. So anything else that you would like to share, like your business, contact information or anything?
Well, they
What do you
can buy my books on Amazon.
Yes, perfect.
Suck It Up Cupcake and Find a Way, and also 52 Ways to Find a Way.
52 Ways to Find a Way is a phenomenal book. I bought that a long time ago.
Yes.
And I use that in my workshops for people that are getting back into the work world, right? So again, trying to encourage,
Right.
think outside the box, don't give excuses, things like that. But go ahead. Yep.
Yeah.
So buy your
it's
Amazon book.
Buy my Amazon book. You can also reach out to me at dennismccurdy.com. You can sign up for my Thought of the Week, which comes out every Monday, and I've been doing this for 12 years now.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So just a little 200 words or less, and it's
Thought
short
of the
and sweet,
week.
and I get a lot of comments. People love it.
Yep.
A lot of people come back and go, that's just what I needed today. Thank you. How'd you know?
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's like a tip.
Yes. But I want to leave you with something. Well, I'm not sure if we're leaving yet, but one of the things that I always loved was a quote by Calvin Coolidge, our 30th president. And so I have one semester of college.
Okay.
I basically, they graduated me from high school to get rid of me. And I missed 35 days my first year. I was eighth in my class from the bottom. So,
And why was that? Were you a troublemaker?
well, maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
I got suspended a couple times my senior year. And, you know how it goes. But one day I remember I was standing in the lower training room in my office,
Okay.
and I read this quote by
Not
Calvin
where you are
Coolidge.
today.
No, the old office.
Yep.
And I read this quote by Calvin Coolidge, and I thought, I can do that. So here it is. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men and women with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence alone is omnipotent. The sign, press on, has and always will solve the problems of the human race. And I thought, when I read that, I said, I can be persistent. I don't have to be a rocket scientist. I just have to persist.
I like that.
And that's really it.
I've never heard that quote.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a really great, so people think about that, right?
Yes.
Very nice. Dennis, it's been a pleasure to have you
My
here.
pleasure.
All right. And as you have said, and we are telling you, it's important to be accountable and have those support systems in place.
Right. Find yourself a goal buddy, an accountability partner, start your own mastermind group.
Yep.
It's well worth it.
It is. So hopefully you've taken something away today and you have a lovely day. And we look forward to talking to you again and seeing you. Talk to you again. Connections count.